Could Texas Democrats break quorum again? It's July 15th, 2025, and these are your headlines. Well, it's a question resurfacing in political circles after Governor Greg Abbott unveiled his 18-item agenda for the upcoming special session, which is largely packed with conservative priorities that stalled during the regular legislative session this year. But what's really turning up the temperature is an effort to redraw congressional maps to increase the Republican majority in Congress. President Trump has reportedly told members he wants to see 5 new Republican seats from Texas. And this is the same issue that sparked the infamous 2003 walkout. 51 Democrat members of the Texas House boarded a pair of charter buses and fled to Ardmore, Oklahoma. That put that city on the map. Their goal? To deny the House a quorum and block a Republican-led congressional redistricting plan backed by then House Speaker Tom Craddick and U.S. House Majority Leader Tom DeLay. The standoff lasted for days until the clock ran out on the session. When Governor Rick Perry called a special session to revive the redistricting effort, Democrats in the Texas Senate followed suit. Then they flew to Albuquerque, New Mexico. That standoff dragged on for over a month, but ultimately failed to stop Republicans from pushing through a new map that helped shift the state's congressional delegation further to the right. Fast forward more recently, in 2021, you might remember this, Democrats once again fled the state. That time it was over election integrity legislation. Nearly 60 House Democrats chartered private planes to Washington, D.C., claiming to fight for voting rights. Their absence ground legislative business to a halt for 38 days. Eventually, members began to trickle back. Quorum was restored and the legislation was passed. But despite breaking quorum and leaving the state for over a month, there were virtually no consequences. Lawmakers continued collecting their pay, they held onto their committee positions, and they returned without any meaningful reprimand. Now, with redistricting once again on the call and reports that national Democrats are urging another walkout, questions are building over whether Governor Abbott will implement stricter deterrents, such as declaring the seats of absent lawmakers vacant. With the special session set to begin on Monday, the stage is once again set for a high-stakes showdown. The only question is, will Democrats make the same move? And if so, will Republicans let them get away with it? As Texans grapple with the devastating flood that struck the Hill Country on July 4th, killing over 130 people and leaving many still missing, local officials have already taken steps to potentially raise property taxes without voter approval. On Monday, the Kerr County Commissioner's Court unanimously authorized its tax assessor to calculate property tax rates using a special provision in state law that allows for a higher cap on increases in the wake of a disaster. Now, this move doesn't immediately raise tax bills, but it lays the groundwork for potentially doing so in the future. The county tax assessor stressed that the decision doesn't mean that they're raising taxes, but he said that they could only begin the calculation using the disaster rate if authorized by the court. Kerr County isn't alone. Last year, Harris County used the same disaster loophole to impose an 8% tax hike, more than double the typical 3.5% cap, citing a prior disaster declaration. That decision drew criticism from local Republicans, including Commissioner Tom Ramsey, who noted the county had already managed to fund all of its services the prior year without the increase. The strategy has become a growing trend among local governments seeking to boost revenues without triggering a voter approval election. Critics say it's an abuse of the intent behind disaster exceptions. House Bill 30, which was passed by the legislature, tightens the conditions under which local governments can invoke that disaster loophole, but because it doesn't take effect until 2026, January 1st, local governments, like Kerr County, are still operating under those old rules. And so far, Kerr County officials have only taken the first procedural step by authorizing the tax office to calculate that new rate. Whether they actually vote to increase the tax rate to that level remains to be seen. Still, the optics of making that move in the middle of an ongoing disaster while residents are still searching for loved ones and cleaning out flooded homes has sparked a fierce backlash.
Are you worried about your kid's future? You should be. I'm Charles Blaine with Texas Tomorrow. This is a show where we're going to talk about the issues and the people that are pushing the policies that concern your family, your home, and your kids. Catch Texas Tomorrow every Thursday.
State Senator Nathan Johnson out of Dallas announced today that he is running for Attorney General, making him the first Democrat to officially enter the race for the open statewide seat. In his campaign launch, Johnson took aim at the current officeholder, Ken Paxton, accusing him of using the office to serve personal and political interests, saying the agency has been corrupted, abused, and debased. Paxton, who has served as Attorney General since 2015, is not seeking re-election. Instead, he's running for the U.S. Senate against John Cornyn in the Republican primary. Although Johnson is the first Democrat to announce a run for the AG post, 3 Republicans have already entered the race, Senators Mays Middleton and Joan Huffman, along with former Department of Justice official Aaron Reitz. Democrats have not won a statewide election in Texas since 1994. 30-year drought the party is hoping to end in 2026. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.